This is for my context and the research part of the process. So the first bit of research I did about Deviate was physicality and movement. So I watched a clip from Can We Talk About This, which is a verbatim piece about Islam and politics and racism and stuff like that. And I focused on the movement within that clip. So the first thing, I considered, what can I take from this? The initial thought that I had was the movement was so fluid and smooth around the stage, and she was moving around the stage with this lifty, and she was the liftee, and the lifter was just moving her very smoothly around the stage, and I thought that looked really good. So I took from this that she is reliant on the person lifting her. She's very trusting of him, but she also knows that she is going to be able to move her weight with him underneath her. She travelled smoothly around the stage, being lifted, which I thought was fascinating because she wasn't showing a struggle or showing herself sort of lifting herself. He was just moving her around the stage really smoothly. Although it was an unnatural physical movement, it made it look natural. Obviously, you don't see people going down the street moving like that every day. It was, in terms of everything, very unnatural, but the way that it was done so fluidly and very well practiced obviously made it look so natural, especially along with the verbatim. And rather than calm, the movement wasn't aggressive, it was rather calm, and the tone of the speech and the actual content of the dialogue and the verbatim that was going on above this piece was very contrasting to the movement. The movement is very calm and fluid, but the contents of the conversation that was going on wasn't. It was about a politician talking about forced marriage, and it really contrasts the movement, which is really effective because it's making you think more about this content in alignment with the movement. So in terms of my own practical work, I noted that movement doesn't always have to complement the text. Sometimes contrasting can be visually more interesting and can give you other interpretations as an audience member, which is sometimes more interesting than being handed a message to you on a plate. Therefore, I decided I'm going to look at the dynamics of my movement and how Ben and James lift Sasha. So Sasha is the liftee and Ben and James are going to be moving her around the stage, and I just thought it's important to look at the dynamics and how they contrast the verbatim. In terms of the research and practice, I have filmed a video of some of the lifts that we've done and how we perform them, and I'm going to try them with different dynamics and upload them so that when I get to the final piece I can look back and reflect on how effective it was to start with and how effective it is now with the movements and the dynamics that we chose as a group that felt the best and felt most effective. In terms of further research, I want to look more into the semiotics within Deviate pieces and the symbolism within our whole piece. There are certain elements of our pieces that have huge amounts of symbolism in them that I think are really important to know and important to portray because they're effective, but when you know how to portray them right.